Today we are talking about Huo Qubing and whether or not he is a better commander than Alexander Nevsky. Now this is a dicey topic because people love their Nevsky, and myself included. I have both expertise. I have a better set of gear on my Nevsky. But today I want to talk about whether or not I think that Huo Qubing is actually a better investment right now in 2024 than Alexander Nevsky. If you guys are new here, this is Gainz Gaming. We make Rise of Kingdoms content, so make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Rise of Kingdoms content in the future. Now let's dive into the video. So Huo Qubing is a newer commander than Nevsky. So that is one thing he has going for him, is that he is not even a full year old yet. He is really only about 6 months old. So he is a still very new commander. Now, with that being said, Nevsky is not. He is coming on 2 years now. So obviously, he is a much older commander than Huo Qubing. Now, when we look into their kits, I just recently made a video about Nevsky, so we are going to dive into Huo Qubing's kit and talk about his skills and how they compare to Nevsky's. So with Huo Qubing, his first skill deals direct damage to a target troop of single troop, damage factor of 2700. You need to have him as a primary, otherwise you cut his skill damage factor in half, kind of like Guan Yu, and reduces march speed by 50% for 3 seconds, which is extremely strong in the open field. So 2700 damage factor and 50% march speed. Now let's compare that to Nevsky. So with Nevsky, we have a skill damage of 2300 damage skill factor, as well as a 15% reduction of damage. So, obviously 2 different kind of skills, but more damage from the Huo Qubing plus slowing down the march speed by 50% effectively will destroy the enemy because they are unable to run away. So if they are trying to hit you and then run, they will not be able to because Huo Qubing will slow them down insanely. Plus, he is fast enough to catch up. Now, his second skill. This commander's cav units gain 40% attack. When outside Alliance territory, their cav units also gain 15% march speed and deal 5% more damage to archer units. So, if you want to be able to combat the Boudica Prime, the Herman Prime, Zuch Liang, Huo Qubing is the best commander to do so because he will catch up to them. He's fast enough. He does insane damage, and he also does extra damage to cavalry. And this is all damage as well. So this isn't just, extra normal attack damage. This is all damage. And then if we look at Alexander Nevsky, now he also has a boost outside Alliance territory. They gain 20% health, which is still amazing. Now, he also gains 20% attack and 20% march speed, so he will also be able to catch up with those archer units and just about anybody. Now, Huo Qubing, his third skill. If this commander's troop has been on the map for more than 30 seconds and has fought in at least one battle already or has previously triggered the autumn wind effect, for the first 15 seconds after entering combat, their troop deals 30% more skill damage and requires 150 less rage to use active skills. After 15 seconds of combat, their troops deal 10% more normal damage. So this is kind of a mouthful. Now, increasing your skill damage by 30% is insane. Reducing the rage cost by 150 is even more insane, in my opinion, because that means faster skill cycles, as well as extra normal damage, which is, pretty negligible, but still pretty solid. Now, if we look at Nevsky, his third skill gives you an extra 20% defense, as well as 10% more damage and 5% less damage while surrounded. Now, obviously you're not always going to be surrounded, so this won't always take effect, but getting extra damage is also really, really nice. Now, with 4 skills, this is also his expertise, but if the commander's troop is attacking another troop on the map, cav units and their troop gain 35% defense. Their troop deals 25% more skill damage, and their troop triggers the autumn wind effect. This will recover a portion of its slightly wounded units, healing factor of 3000 whenever it defeats an enemy troop. Cooldown is 8 seconds. Does not reset after exiting combat. So the autumn wind effect is honestly one of the most insane effects, in my opinion, in the open field. And I think it's stupid when people say not to go for the autumn wind effect expertise because Huo Qubing just does not die. If you watched any of my live streams over this last KVK, you'd see like all my marches in the red. Huo Qubing would be like 85% health. And it's like, how? And, if you want to know why he gets such good trades and so many kills, is because he just does not die. When he kills an enemy unit, he basically gets like 8,000 healing factor, which is insane. That's like an extra 8,000 healing factor every 8 seconds because you're always going to be killing a march every 8 seconds. It's insane. And then if we look at Nevsky, Nevsky's 4 skill. If this troop contains only cav units, troop deals 25% more skill damage, and whenever their troop uses an active skill, gains an extra 35% more damage to bonus for 4 seconds. So this is going to benefit the secondary commander the most, because obviously you're not going to be doing another skill in 4 seconds. So you got to make sure that you are pairing Nevsky with a commander that has a lot of damage factor after it. Now, that's why Nevsky and Joan Prime is so good, because, you know, Joan Prime is going to fire off 1, potentially even 2 active skills, which get an extra 35% more bonus to skill damage for those 4 seconds. Potentially 2 more active skills from Joan Prime is insanely powerful. So that is why Nevsky is so good, is this skill right here. One of the reasons why he's so good. And then his expertise, commander's troop deals 5% more normal damage. Whenever their troop is hit with a basic attack, the cav units in their troop has a 10% chance to gain 30% health for 3 seconds, which is also really, really solid. Now, that begs the question, is Huo Qubing better? And, you know, I think this is a very, very tough question to answer. But if I had to choose between Huo Qubing and Nevsky, and like I said, this is a tough choice, but if I had to choose between the two, I would probably lean more toward Huo Qubing. And one reason why is, I mean, obviously, because he's newer. And newer commanders are going to last longer than older commanders 99% of the time. There's very few commanders that have insane longevity. And I think Huo Qubing will be one of those commanders. But I also think that Nevsky will be one of those commanders. But in my opinion, and I talked about this in previous videos as well, if you are running 1 cav march, which I highly encourage people to run at least 2 cav marches. Even if you're free to play, running 2 cav marches will always be better. But if you are running 1 cav march, the first one that I would recommend people to go to does not include Nevsky. And that's kind of a hot take in my opinion. But that march is going to be Huo Qubing and Joan Prime. A lot of people like that pairing better than the Nevsky Joan Prime, even if you're running 2 marches. That's personally what I run, is Nevsky Joan and then Huo Qubing William. A lot of people like Nevsky William and Huo Qubing and Joan, which, you know, kind of goes to show how good people think Huo Qubing really is, because they prefer the Huo Qubing and Joan. Even if you have Nevsky and are using him, they still prefer Huo Qubing and Joan because they think that's better, which I think speaks wonders. But I think this commander is just so insanely good. And, you know, I think that him and Nevsky are close to each other, but I do think that Huo Qubing has the edge. And I think it's because of his extra damage, the extra skill damage. Reducing the march speed of the enemy in the open field is insanely powerful. Doing more damage as well is also extremely powerful. But, you know, especially doing more damage to archers when archers are just really crazy in the open field right now with Herman Prime. I think you need to have the extra damage. But I think one of the biggest things, like I said, the rage cost reduction is just so insane that I don't think you can overlook this. I think this skill right here is one of the most powerful skills in the game. This one and his 4 skill, just absolutely crazy. Cannot beat these skills. So that's what I think. I think Huo Qubing is a better commander than Nevsky right now. And personally, I would lean more toward Huo Qubing if I were to choose between the two. Like if you were to ask me Huo Qubing and Joan Prime or Nevsky Joan Prime, I would choose Huo Qubing Joan Prime. I think that's a better march in the open field. I think you're going to be happier with that in the long run, but I think both are still amazing pairings. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm excited to see what you guys think about these two commanders. Which one do you think is better? Let me know down below, and thanks for checking out the video.